Crow Country is a new game within the survival horror genre. Resident Evil is the king of this genre, but it's nice to see other games throw their hat in the ring. I hadn't heard of Crow Country until I saw one of the YouTubers I followed streamed it. I was immediately hooked and bought it as soon as I could, and after playing the game, I have to say that it's one of the best survival horror games out there. There's tons of effort put into the world and story, traps and puzzles feel like a natural part of the environment, enemies are varied and unique, it's got secrets and post-game content for replayability, and child murder! This game's got it all, except for an inventory management system like Resident Evil, but I like the easier approach. Inventory management is a huge part of survival horror games, but I don't think its lack of inclusion hurts this game in any way. In fact, it works to this game's benefit, making it a great introduction to the world of survival horror. I'm by no means an expert on the survival horror genre, but I like this game enough to make this video on it. If you haven't seen or played this game, then I implore you to buy it. It only costs around 20 bucks and takes about 6 hours to complete. It's honestly nice to have a short yet enjoyable game to play rather than one that'll take days to complete. My goal is to talk about how much I like the game and maybe convince someone watching to give it a try, so I'll avoid spoiling parts of the story. That said, this part of the video is gonna be very brief. You play as Mara, a 17-year-old girl who has come to Crow Country in search of the owner. Crow Country is an amusement park that had been closed down 2 years ago because of an incident that occurred with one of its guests. Mara makes her way throughout the park, meeting many friends and enemies as she works towards finding Mr. Crow.
Die, Marvin!
That overview is all you need to know, and if you want to know more, then you should go buy the game. Now, since I'm avoiding spoilers, I won't give specific thoughts on the story. Instead, I'll say that I found it very interesting. The story was very intriguing, and I wanted to learn more as I progressed through the game. I'm pretty satisfied with how they ended it, and I wouldn't change a thing. Also, the writing in this game is absolutely peak. Wonder what's in there? Maybe some ammo? It's pizza. Touché, pizza box. The humor in this game blends well with the creepy atmosphere. Like, this game can be very stupid at times. I mean, one of the main antagonists gets killed by a fucking vent cover. My favorite bit of writing in this game is between these two guys. They are old colleagues who cuss each other out like an old married couple. As you well know, Trumbull, you piteous old leech. Shut it, Tolman, you traitorous old cretin. He wasn't talking to you, Trumbull, you heinous old parasite. Bite me, Tolman, you pompous old jackass. Shut your trap, Tolman, you self-righteous old busybody. Why don't you make me, Trumbull, you bloated old gasbag? I was telling the story, Tolman, you uppity old bastard. Well, you were doing a shit job of it, Trumbull, you worthless old junkie. Quit your cackling, Tolman, you arrogant old snob. I'll laugh at you all I like, Trumbull, you dopey old clown. Best fucking characters in the game right here. This is the best interaction in the entire game. So yeah, the story is pretty damn interesting and the writing is very charming. The location of Crow Country is honestly top notch. As someone who has always had a passing interest in abandoned malls and theme parks, I mean the abandoned malls one was kinda obvious, this game immediately caught my eye the second I saw the art style and location. The park is great from both a design and gameplay standpoint. The park has a strong identity. It's filled with many attractions and decorations that give it so much character and life. On top of that, like any survival horror game, there are plenty of shortcuts, puzzles, and secrets etched into the environment. It's clear they spend a lot of time designing the world and everything feels like it belongs. In other games, puzzles can feel like they don't belong at times, yet this game makes them a part of the environment and gives them good reasons as to why they're here in the first place. There are many locations that I adore in this game. Rooms like the submarine, gift shop, and arcade come to mind, especially that arcade. There's a puzzle in there that requires you to play the games, but you could just play them for fun as well. I spent 12 minutes getting 69 on all of the arcade cabinets, and before you ask, yes, that was necessary. I have been here for like 11 to 12 minutes, but look at this shit. 69, 69, 69, and finally, 69. This is the dumbest thing I've done, but man, is it funny. This leads me to my next point. I like the use of environmental puzzles in the game. We're in a fucking theme park, so the developers made rides/attractions that you'd have to engage with to solve their respective puzzles. At one moment, you could be talking to an animatronic fairy, driving a swan, or wasting time like a dumbass to get the funny number on every arcade game. Speaking of puzzles, I want to talk about my favorite one, which is the puzzle in Haunted Hilltop. Inside the crypt is an attraction that kids would have had to solve. It's got headstones, a giant compass on the floor, and a fucking shotgun ready to blast the kiddos away. There's a nearby note telling you to pay attention to the names on the graves and look to the compass on the floor. So I thought, okay, point them in the right direction, except I failed to notice that some of the headstones had a first and last name. So when I failed to get it right, I sat there dumbfounded, running around the room for several minutes until I finally used my damn head. Norbert Easley, if I'm even saying that right, sounded somewhat like northeast, and that's when it clicked. After some adjustments, I solved the puzzle and it was finally time to claim my prize. It was fake. My rage could not be contained. Luckily, a boss pops out of the wall like the Kool-Aid Man, ready to face my gamer rage. This singular puzzle has it all and is the best example of what this game has to offer. It's got a puzzle that is moderately difficult, lore that gives it a reason to exist and offers helpful hints to the player, a bit of comedy and depression, and finally a quick little scare with a fight in a tight space. I could continue to glaze this game for its puzzles, but we'd be here all day. Traps and hints also get the same amount of effort put into them. These damn traps blend so well into the environment that I sometimes fail to see them. Of course, a fucking bear trap or gas mine is easy to spot, but traps like these bird heads fit so well into the environment that I overlook them and get gassed. These birds are stationary and only spray gas once you get close. They are easily my favorite trap because of their design and the fact they look so stupid when they miss. Whoever made them did a crap job because the second they try to gas you, they can't do it again. Instead, they'll sit there with a goofy look on their face knowing that they fucked up.
Fucking failure.
As for hints, they can take the form of notes, objects in the environment, and hints given by the fortune teller. This guy is so handy because he can tell you what to do next in the story. So if you ever get stuck, go talk to the crow. But let's move on to the enemies because these motherfuckers are creepy. Their designs kick a lot of ass and there are tons of variations. Some enemies could be nothing more than a puddle and others can be downright terrifying. We got blobs with arms, bloody people, pokey people, children, Minecraft skeleton, aka me in real life, beef boy, and a few others I've most likely forgotten. These enemies don't just differ cosmetically, they also have different mechanics and personalities. For example, the children will curl up into a ball until they see you. Once they do, they'll haul ass right after you for a while. They can eventually tire out, and if you get far enough away, they ball up again. To combat these enemies, we have 4 weapons at our disposal. We start the game with a pistol and have to unlock the other 3. The next weapon is the shotgun, and it's locked behind a puzzle in the submarine. The thing I like about this game is that they drip feed you shotgun ammo before you ever grab the damn thing. I have never been so down bad for a gun in my life. Then they had the audacity to have the fake out in the crypt. I think a part of me died. I just wanted the funny boom gun, but this game wanted to keep fucking edging me for a good hour. But once I got my hands on it, whoo boy is it good. This fucking thing kicks a lot of ass, and surprisingly there's tons of ammo for it. There was rarely a time I was left without shotgun ammo. And mind you, I practically use the shotgun just as much as the pistol. The other 2 weapons are locked behind secrets, the first of which is the flamethrower, which is found in the train room. That puzzle confused the shit out of me, so I won't lie, I cheated. My dumbass sat there for like 30 minutes and got nowhere close to the solution. Then on top of that, I don't really like the flamethrower. It's fine, but I never bothered using it, and honestly, I've only ever used it to burn down the door in the C section. But the Magnum is a whole nother story. You find it in the gift shop after solving the cashier puzzle. Just like in Resident Evil, the ammo is limited, but it packs a punch. In fact, all of the ammo for it is locked behind secrets. But getting the Magnum and the ammo is worth it because you can use it to clown on the final boss. I mean, sure, you could use it on some random enemies in the game, but fuck that. Use it to turn the final boss into a fraud. There are not many upgrades for weapons. Each weapon gets one upgrade that is handed out by little mushroom guys. The first of which you can meet in the mush room later in the game. The puzzle is hella weird because you're meant to eat all of the mushrooms. The kicker is that some of them are poisoned, and despite that, you're still meant to eat them? From a puzzle perspective, I don't really understand it, and maybe I'm missing something, but either way, it's worth it. Because the little mushroom dude makes your pistol do more damage. It's easily the best weapon upgrade in the game, but the best upgrade overall has got to be the running shoes. You get these after grabbing the silver key, and they make life so much easier. Running through the map and avoiding enemies is child's play when you have these bad boys on. Overall, while limited, I'd say the upgrades in this game are good. Some are better than others, but I got some use out of all of them. Last but not least, I'd like to talk about the secrets and post-game content. I've already talked a bit about the secrets, so let's start with them. What I like about the secrets is that most of them aren't hard to find/solve. There are plenty of hints scattered throughout the map to help players solve them. And on top of that, there's a secrets map that makes finding them easy. The secret map reminds me a lot of Arkham Asylum, and I wish more games handled secrets this way. Giving away their locations doesn't take away from the experience. In fact, it made my experience even better. I was able to find all of the secrets on my first run because of this. But now let's move on to the post-game content. After beating the game for the first time, you'll unlock a Glass Crow challenge. On top of that, you'll receive a grade for your performance. Depending on the grade, you'll unlock some, if not all of the bonus items for future playthroughs. These can be used on any run afterwards, and they are incredibly useful. These items are the crowbar, crow launcher, and the wings. The crowbar allows you to break boxes and bottles without having to use your gun. Furthermore, as of writing this, I found out that you can use it to hit the explosive barrels. For some odd reason, the explosion won't damage you, but it will damage any nearby enemies, turning Maya into a mad bomber, and you best believe I abused the hell out of this. The crow launcher is a crow-themed grenade launcher with infinite ammo. Just be careful with where you're shooting, because you can blow yourself up if you're not careful. Lastly, the wings allow you to teleport between safe rooms. It's a nice quality of life tool that cuts down on backtracking in future playthroughs. But let's get back to that Crystal Crow challenge. After enabling it, 42 Crystal Crows will be hidden throughout the map. Sometimes they're easy to spot, and other times they're pretty damn hidden. Coming from experience, this challenge made my next playthrough a great experience. Except for the fact that I got Fuck you, phone! Coming from experience, the challenge made my next playthrough a great experience. Except for the fact that I got so hyper-fixated on it that I lost my S rank that I was going for, god damn it! Hunting these guys down was fun, and once you get this secrets map, every crow you find will be placed on the map. This helps you keep track of which crows you found, especially since there can only be one crow per room. Or at least that's what I thought, until I realized some of the bigger areas can have 2 crows hidden within them. On top of that, they can only be found on the surface, so you don't have to search near the roots later in the game. Once you find all the crows, a door opens up in the lounge. Once you enter it, Maya will come back with a new outfit and a blaster. Look at me now. But the fit ain't quite done yet. There we go, now I look ridiculous. The blaster has infinite ammo, and I think its damage is half decent. The problem is that most players will most likely get it by the end of the playthrough, so it's kind of useless. But I will say I did just look through the announcements before writing the script, and it looks like they're planning to add the Crystal Crow rewards to future playthroughs. So I'm assuming once you complete the challenge, you can access these rewards on any playthrough from that point. With that covered, I am finally done glazing the fuck out of this game. I feel like I did a half decent job, and if you're at all curious about the game, then go buy it now. Indie games have been killing it this year, and I'm glad that this is a part of the roster. If you were at all entertained by my maddened ramblings, then feel free to like and subscribe, cause I got more videos coming soon.